Markus on board, very interesting chap. First time I met him was in St. Francis Bay. He came in there and sitting with Ian, he borrowed his bicycle and off to J Bay, and then bumped him in Hart Bay, and now you're in the Royal Cape Yacht Club. So Markus, just tell us a bit about yourself, buddy. You've got a very interesting story.
Yeah, so I'm from Canada, and I got here to South Africa after 6.5 years of not ever using motorized transportation. So I'm on a journey from Toronto, Canada, and I started in a canoe, and I've used trimaran, hand cycle, tricycle, skis, pogo sticks, you name it. But literally in 6.5 years, I've never used any form of motorized transportation. And yeah, so as Miles said, we met in St. Francis after I sailed down the coast there, and it's been quite the journey.
Yeah, no, we actually, it was quite funny. I didn't see his entry into St. Francis Bay, but his entry out of St. Francis Bay, I've actually got on video somewhere. We just see this yacht going past, and there's someone rowing with row locks, leaving Port St. Francis, which is probably one of the narrowest port entries in South Africa, I would guess. Yeah, something I definitely wouldn't think of taking my boat and rowing out, but yeah, okay, no, well, whatever we do. And then apparently, well, Markus got to Hart Bay quite a while before we did, but he had the same experience where it's predicted like 20-30 knots, and you end up with 45 knots, gusting 50 knots, normal Hart Bay welcome, and I hear that he had quite a good entry. Okay, so a little bit about myself is in my early 20s I started sailing. I must have been, well, actually I just looked at my old passport today. It was 1995. There was an advert in the Sunday Times magazine. Some guy who lived in Pretoria, he was looking for a crew, and his boat was in Spain. So all I had was NSRI, training coxswain, and I sent my papers off to the guy, and next thing I was flying to Johannesburg and flying to Spain and getting on my first boat to do my first Atlantic crossing. And that was a Roberts 45, which in a nutshell, we sailed from Spain to Gibraltar, to Canary Islands, then across to the Caribbean, right up to Puerto Rico, all the way down the whole Caribbean, Suriname, French Guiana, Amazon, or Brazil, eventually ended up in the Amazon River, up to a place called Belém. It's a southern tributary of the Amazon River. So it's not quite the Amazon, but it's in the Amazon Delta. And yeah, then I flew home, and then I did another couple of crossings with some mates of mine, then another 2 South Atlantic crossings, all directly after that. And then I got back, and I just got back to my home port, and I just saw all these guys catching squid and skippering boats, and life seemed to be good, and they seemed to make all right money, and I got stuck into that for a couple of years.
Chaka fishing, all the stuff exported to Europe. So I had heard about this saying called Chaka block full, and I had no idea where it came from, and I discovered that when I got to St. Francis.
Really?
Because it, like, when something's chock a block full, it means that it's like
no more space for anything.
No more space, yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that South African term would actually spread around the world.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if I heard it originally from
you heard it
South
out of South
African, or if it's just become a thing in North America. Yeah, chock-a-block.
And then in St. Francis Bay, we've got the restaurant called Chock-a-Block too.
Yeah, I went there. It's tasty.
Yeah, good old Chock-a-Block.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then to cut a long story short, 14 years working for one fishing company called Belovia in St. Francis Bay. At one stage I had 32 crew on my boat, or 32 in total, and I've just decided to change back to sailing and leave that high stress behind me, and the high carbon footprint that we do create. Although, like we did have a conversation the other evening, I climb off the boat. I used to burn 10,000 litres of diesel every 3 weeks, or 8,000 litres, and if the fish is really good, 12,000 litres in 3 weeks. And I get off the boat to go green, and someone else gets on the boat and they carry on doing it, you know. So I don't know how we'll end stopping this one day, but I'm sure we'll get there. And that's where you and I, Markus, for the last 6 years hasn't used one drop of diesel, and I don't want to know how many drops I've used.
Well, that's not entirely true. I've used a drop of diesel. It just hasn't moved me. I've put diesel in my engine to keep it working, but
okay,
I just never have it in gear when I'm on it.
So if you need to charge batteries, you'll start your engine, but you'll never...
No, I actually don't do that.
Okay.
I probably should, but
Yeah.
I don't do that. I don't need much battery power anyways. My batteries are plugged into the shore power right now to charge up before the trip, because they have been sort of used just as solar panel, but I don't burn much energy. I don't have a fridge on board. I don't need much power, so the solar is good enough most of the time. But my batteries are pretty crap that I bought in India. So
have you still got your same batteries you bought with the boat?
The batteries that were in the boat I took off, but I bought new ones in India. But
well, that's how many years ago?
No, that's a year.
Okay.
Yeah, a little over a year.
Yeah.
Since I left India.
Before I left St. Francis Bay, I also bought 4 new house batteries, and it's like, it hits you hard when you got to buy batteries, eh?
Yeah, battery.
And you know what I found out about the batteries as well is that, well, someone told me who's selling me the batteries. They say if you take a 5,000 rand battery or a 8,000 rand battery, their lifespan's only 2 years. Both of them, you know what I mean? Their lifespan's only that long. So if you go for the more advanced battery, you're still going to have to replace it in that amount of time. So
me about how I got into Hout, is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
So
your entry into Hout Bay, the jetty slowed you down, sort of thing. Came in there.
Yeah. So I experienced the most intense winds I've ever experienced on the ocean just once I got into the protected bay of Hout Bay.
Same here.
I just dropped in behind Chapman's Peak, which is this mountain, and there's this famous road that goes around Chapman's Peak. And as we got in the protection of that mountain, we got just pummeled because the wind just funnels up over that mountain and just hammers down straight onto the ocean and into our sails. And so I was just like getting almost knocked down, not quite.
With no sail? Did you have sail up? Oh,
I had sail up, because it was...
I was getting knocked flat with no sail up, eh?
Yeah. I had 2 people with me at that point too, my girlfriend and a random guy I met in the surf. My girlfriend was inside, so she didn't really mind that bad, but the other guy was outside trying to figure out what to do, and I was trying to tell him to do something, but he didn't know the boat, so I had to go and reef the main and do all these things and tell him to hold on to the tiller, which was really hard to hold on at that point. And it was dark, it was midnight-ish, almost midnight, and coming into the harbor, like it's not really well lit up.
No.
And so I was just grateful that we actually made the entrance and got into the harbor. It got so much calmer, but the wind was still howling. And so I dropped the sails almost probably still 30 meters away from the dock, dropped all sails, but I wasn't slowing down. The wind was just pushing me, and so it was good. I'm perfectly on target. You know, there was a boat in the slip opposite to me, and I came in and just just smashed, rid up the dock a bit, and then rid back down.
Do you actually have one of those the fenders that some people put on their bows? You see, because it might, for those kind of landings, it might help.
Yeah, I mean, it's a solid fiberglass boat, so in the end, it's just gel coat damage. I just had to. I just filled it with epoxy and then painted over it, so I didn't have any gel coat.
Yeah, no, Hout Bay. Well, it's quite funny. I had the same. Also, coming to Hout Bay, everything's fine. As soon as you approach that Chapman's Peak and you get behind that peak, that southeasterly wind, you couldn't see, but the sun was busy coming up, and you had these black clouds, like you see them come over Table Mountain. Yeah, if you see those things, like give it half an hour and the wind's going to be pumping. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, man, this is crazy coast, crazy place. Even here in Cape Town, the wind just howls through here.
Yeah, no, every day. Well, we had a couple of days of decent weather now, but otherwise it's been blowing.
Yeah.
So Markus is off to St. Helena on Sunday. He's going to leave.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to put my mast on Tuesday or Wednesday, then fly home for a couple of days, say bye to the family, and then I'm going to chase him down. I'm going to come and find him along the way somewhere.
Yeah. So what's your plan moving forward?
Okay, well, basically, my YouTube channel is called Sailing with Twins, but the twins and my wife, they're not going to do the crossing with me. We went for a little sail, and we decided it's going to be better for everyone if they rather stay. You know, if I had a bigger boat and we could get used to it, then it would be cool. But so I'm going to sail across, and I've done the scenic route. You know, I've done the tourist route. So I'm not even going to stop in Brazil. I'm just going to maybe go St. Helena Ascension and then straight to Grenada and go look for work and get my family there. We put them on the boat when we get to the flatter Caribbean seas. So they say. But it's not always flat. No,
they get some crazy waves in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
And especially in the months coming up here, the hurricane season picks up in July, and you got to find some safe haven.
Through to September. Happens. I always remember, is it like June, too soon, July, stand by, September, remember. I forget what the other month is, but yeah, August, yeah, I know. Well, that's what I forgot the saying. August, August at gust.
August.
September, remember. So that's the peak season of hurricane season. But the nice thing about Grenada is it's out of the hurricane belt. I heard from a buddy of mine who's staying there, John Fairweather. He told me that it only gets hit once every 50 years. You know, the last time was 25 years ago.
Really, Grenada? Yeah. Because I've heard of some boats moving from Grenada to Trinidad when.
Because Well, I will do that too.
Maybe they do that just in case.
Apparently, it's 50 years, and the last one that's gone across Grenada was 25 years ago. But that's just according to a buddy of mine. I'll have to go and check on him. Yeah. So yeah, definitely. I'm sure we're going to bump each other there in the Caribbean for sure.
Yeah,
definitely.
for sure. Yeah.
And sat phone, you got a sat phone?
I have a little
for
texting
device, Well, hopefully I'll get something like that before I leave. But I've got such a little bit of time to get so much done. It's unbelievable, you know. Because I am going to get to the Caribbean for the arse end of the season, if you want to call it that. You know, the end of the season, and but I'm more going there to work. You know, go look for work and go and stay in Grenada for a while and pay my taxes in Grenada.
What kind of work are you hoping to get?
Well, I'll do anything. I mean, I can start off with sanding, varnishing, any maintenance work. But obviously, generally, I've got a ticket for power and sail, and I've got 7 years at sea for this last company that I worked for. I worked for them for 14 years, and I've got 7.6 years of days at sea for them. So yeah, I've got a lot of skipping experience, you know. So I'm hoping to, maybe even if it's people bring their boats to the Hard in Grenada and they need it taken back to another island, take it back, or just delivery work, or I'll do anything, you know, to survive, like us South Africans generally do. You'll find us scattered all over the world, cleaning toilets and varnishing and sanding, and we're survivors, you know. We come from Africa.
Yeah.
And you, what's the rest of your journey going to take you? You're going
to... I'm not really sure yet. I'm probably going to head back up to Canada fairly soon, so maybe I'll be finishing the trip in Toronto in the summer of 23.
Okay.
I'd like to sort of make that happen, but I don't know. I'm going to not rush to the Caribbean before hurricane season, so after hurricane season, where I go, I'll maybe slowly make my way north, but not too far north so that it's no snow.
Yeah, and then Toronto, excuse my ignorance, is it west coast or east coast?
So it's east-ish coast.
Okay.
It's the actual east coast of Canada is quite a bit farther east.
Okay.
But Toronto is actually quite close to New York City.
Okay. Yeah. So you're gonna, so at least you don't have to go through the Panama Canal and all that kind of stuff. You're gonna just So you started in Toronto, you made your way across land, then got onto boats and things and went around, and you'll finish there and then make your way on land back to Toronto. Anyway, okay, man, it's so really cool.
Yeah.
Markus's channel is called Roots of Change. You guys must check out Roots of Change on YouTube. He's on Facebook, Instagram. It's really a good cause for someone like me, I am actually doing a route of change. That's what I've done. I've left this big carbon footprint behind me, which someone else is carrying on with, and yeah, I want to teach my kids. I feel in 10, 20 years time, our children will need to know how to fix a water maker and how to spearfish and how to catch a crayfish, more importantly than being a rocket scientist, or because in my opinion, survival, because this earth is so overpopulated. We all know that, and for them it's going to be a war over water one day and food. That's what I see. Time for change, Time for change for me, like your roots of change.
So right now you're missing a mast. Well, what happened there?
Oh, we're opening a can of worms here. I bought the boat in St. Francis Bay, and from another friend of mine, and he bought the boat from someone in Durban, and this other guy never really sailed the boat very much. I don't think after he did the trip down. His name is Peter. He did the trip down from Durban to St. Francis, and then I think, I speak under correction, the boat stayed in the port, and then I ended up buying it. And then the one day I asked my buddy Ian to pull me up the mast, and I didn't go and do a rig inspection on the boat when I bought it, because I was at sea catching squid, and it was like there was a couple of people interested, and my buddy said to me, I want you to have it because you're my friend, but there are people interested, so I had to make a plan to do the payment, or commit to it anyway. And anyway, so Ian pulls me up the mast, and I get to the top, and I just saw this hole. It was way too big, and it looked like the clever spin. The clever spin in top was actually just about to fall out. But meanwhile, it was supposed to go through two sheaves, or I don't know the right terminology, but it was just a wear, and nothing would have happened. We sailed the boat from St. Francis all the way here, but doing an Atlantic crossing, you'd rather fix it up properly, and I also intend to sell the boat and get something bigger when I'm there, if I don't fall in love with it, which I already am. If I sell this boat, it'll come with a rig inspection that's actually counts, because this rig was supposedly redone in 2019, and
I also bought my boat. Well, I put a deposit down on my boat, having never seen it, just because it was the only boat in India, and I needed a boat badly, and it wasn't expensive, but there was nothing too big in terms of surprises when I got there, but there's always endless work on a boat. So, but I managed to get out of there after 4 months of working. So, and
I find people take like a lot of shortcuts, on boats. Like cut away off and just put a new way and leave the old way there, or just patch over things. Which anyway, it's different. You see, in my opinion, like when you start living aboard and it's your home. It's different to a weekend sailor, you know what I mean? Or what if you go for a race here and there or something like that? Then it's like, but now everything must be proper like a house, And now we're off to see Markus's boat that he got in India, and they sailed all the way around South Africa.
We just exchanged some money. It took me like an hour and a half because I had to wait in line, and then they told me I couldn't do it at the one foreign currency exchange place.
Are you going for British pounds and dollars, or pounds?
Pounds.
Because that's the next stop.
Yeah. Although even there, they actually have their own pound. It's the St. Helena pound.
Yeah, I know.
But I think it's
equivalent.
It's equivalent, right?
Yeah. And you can use dollars there too. And you can look inside. Yeah.
Welcome aboard. Are you filming?
Yeah.
Welcome aboard.
Might as well film from the
Watch your head. It's low ceiling.
I can still stand up straight in here.
Barely.
Yeah, you've even got a little aloe, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
A little piece of South Africa.
His name's Alfred.
Alfred the aloe.
Alfred the aloe. And I got this beautiful hat that somebody's...
Hey, wow, there's one of your beanies.
Beautiful, thank you.
Going around the world. So this is Markus's boat, and he's been many miles and he's still got many to go in it.
Yeah.
Solo, it's the right size for one man.
Yeah.
Galley. It's awesome, buddy.
I have to sleep diagonally there. It's the only place that I fit.
Oh yeah. No, well, that's be quite a tall dude, that's why. So you reckon what's your plan for tomorrow? How are you going to get out here without an engine?
I think I'm going to turn the boat around, and then depending on if there's no wind in the morning, I'll just row it over to the end of the dock there, and then if there is a lot of wind or if there is some wind, then I'll just sail right off the dock. I'll raise the main before I leave. I'll actually turn the boat around first because I'm in bow first. I'll turn it around and then raise the main and push off out towards the exit.
I'll definitely come and help you and come and give you a hand off and
Yeah, cheers.
I'm sure there'll be a couple of people there. Eh?
Maybe. We'll see.
Roots of change. Man, Markus, tomorrow's his last, or today's his last day. Beautiful little mushroom. There's the famous oars that he uses to row into the harbours with. Good morning, Markus.
Good morning.
What a beautiful morning, eh?
Yeah.
Ideal for you. Good omen, brother.
Yeah. Well, ideal with no wind. Yeah.
But for getting out of here, it's better than having 50 knots.
Yeah.
When I got up this morning, I looked at my bread bank and I thought I should have made you a nice loaf of fresh bread for the trip. It would have been awesome. Thought of it too late.
No, you can probably still do it.
It takes 2 hours. We'll make it.
No wind, yeah.
Cape Town this morning. Beautiful, no wind, glassy conditions. Markus is about to cast off and head to St. Helena. Sorry, I'm just filming the crazy one. I must get your email address from you before you leave as well. Hey, Markus is actually pushing his boat out to the end of the jetty. He's just jumped on. And the rowing will start. Yeah, probably easier if the east comes just to go straight out. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that. My stern line as I go by the end of this dock here, and you can just pull me in, and I'll throw you the bow line also.
Cool, bud, no problem. Yeah, the gimbal's following you.
Is it? Yeah, let me pass you the stern line here. Thanks, man.
We're going to put that bread on this week. Now we're going to make Markus some bread. Let's see how that goes. 190 water. Okay, 190 mils of water. Oil, 2.5 tablespoons. Two, half. And there we have it. We got Markus's bread on the go. So guys, got Markus's bread ready. We're going to open this up and see how it looks. I hope it turned out alright. Going away present. And there we go. Wow, what's that? That's quite hot. It's got to be washed. And inside, yeah, we pull out the mixing thing. Ah, that's what this is for, probably. And there we go. 1 times loaf of bread for Markus. Markus. Some gifts for you, brother. Some hard-boiled eggs, bread, and a couple of tins and some chutney.
Amazing.
Just something to wish you well for the road, brother.
Thank you so much.
Cool, man. And your batteries are still charging, so I'll bring them back to you as soon as they're done.
Cool.
coming straight from behind.
Yeah, it's still there.
All of it is. Maybe just above it. Look at those plastics there. There's a bit of wind just above us here.
Yeah, there's definitely some. I'm just wondering if it's gonna stick around when I get out there. I guess I'll go for it. Say a proper goodbye first.
Yeah, buddy. I'll definitely bump you again.
Yeah, awesome.
Markus,
Great to meet you.
travel safely, Markus.
Take care.
Yeah.
Nice to see you. Enjoy it. I'll send you the email in the bottom. And yeah, looking forward to your documentary and the rest. Do you? Take care.
Cheers.
Liking you.
Take care.
Cheerio. Enjoy it.
It's the last hug you'll get for many weeks.
Yeah, you're always welcome in Canada.
Sweet.
Getting anything?
Think so?
This line is so slippery, it's so brand new.
Mosquitoes.
All right.
I'll push the valve off quite hard and then.
Yeah, take this off. Yeah, you can let her go.
There you go, buddy. See you in
Somewhere.
on the other side.
All right, give her a push. Oh.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I can't see anything. Woohoo! Crazy bunch of sailors. So there goes Markus on his way across the Atlantic all on his own. Good luck, brother. See you on the other side.